The degree of sentience in which the kinfolk of Kindred Fates possess brings more complexity to the game than initially meets the eye. It's been stated several times by the developers that keeping sentience in mind has both affected the narrative and mechanics present within the game. That being said, this video aims to discuss the narrative hurdles or problems that SkyMill will either need to address or have already solved within the game. I think this is a very interesting topic, so without further ado, let's dive in. Now, sentience is defined as a capacity to feel, perceive, or experience subjectivity. Now, this is a rather broad concept. For example, a dog can do all of these things. However, when we talk about sentience in regard to Kindred Fates, we're more so referring to the usage of the word in its 18th century format, which was often used by philosophers to distinguish the ability to feel from the ability to think critically and analyze situations on a more depthful level. Whichever way you slice it, sentience in Kindred Fates is essentially the term used to outline the fact that humans and kinfolk are of equal sentience, rather than that they have sentience at all. That being said, there are a few noteworthy situations that arise as a result of such sentience, and I want to talk about them here. A brief example that can act as sort of a warm-up is the breeding issue. It's a lot easier to justify breeding in games like Pokemon, where Pokemon are more akin to pets rather than in this case where the kinfolk are in an even playing field with you as a player. That's like going up to your buddy and being like, bro, I need you to breed now. Kindred Fates fixed this issue by integrating something called recruitment rather than breeding. Now, breeding is just one of many examples, but I want to specifically touch on more bond-related topics, as I think you guys will be surprised by how many issues arise once you throw sentience into the mix. First off is the battling itself. These kinfolk are willing to kill each other and even you until captured. In Pokemon, you could perhaps say that the technology used to capture them plays some role in taming them, but in Kindred Fates, such an explanation cannot be made. This was rectified by the fog. It makes kinfolk go mad and you have the ability to free them from such madness, or as it's referred to in game, restlessness. This extends past simple battling as well. What about trading? I've always thought that trading was kind of messed up in Pokemon, like who just trades their pets like it's nothing, but in Kindred Fates this issue is exasperated by the fact that the kinfolk are sentient. We don't have a whole lot of information as to what the explanation in-game will be, but one of the reasons the kinfolk will even fight for you is because you saved them from the fog. See, if traded, that's not the case anymore. Will the kinfolk have a say? How will they react? These are the type of questions that start to pop up in a story-driven game with full monster sentience. Furthermore, there are humans who tame kinfolk throughout the world. Did they all save them from the fog? Or do they just all have a common goal? You can even further dissect this by looking at interpersonal relationships as a whole. With every relationship, each person contributes to a varying degree, whether it be emotionally, physically, financially, philosophically, etc. In healthy relationships, both parties tend to contribute equally. Now, let's take a look at the relationship between human and kinfolk and dissect who's bringing what to the table. So on the kinfolk side, they're providing the player with protection, transportation, emotional support, etc. Now, these aren't unconditional. The player must treat them well and not let them lose in battle, but my question is this: why do the kinfolk even need the human? If their intelligence is roughly the same, how does the human factor in as being useful at all? The only special power we even see the human use is the ability to undo the curse of the fog, but we're not even sure if that's an innate human trait or just something that the main character can do. If it's just the main character with this ability, then it doesn't explain why other kinfolk happen to bond with other humans, and if it is that really enough of a reason to potentially die for someone? It just seems like the scales are unbalanced in that aspect. Now, with that being said, obviously we don't have all the information, but perhaps this could be fixed by humans having some sort of special power that brings out the inner strength of the kinfolk, and that's why they team up. With Pokemon, for example, it's quite simple. The humans are generally smarter and thus can provide the Pokemon with battle strategy. But that's not something that the kinfolk really need. Now, on that note, when I say that there is a problem with sentience or there's a sentience problem, I don't mean the problem is something bad. I'm more so referring to the word in the more mathematical or scientific sense. It's a problem in which needs to be solved rather than a negative aspect of the game. I actually think that the kinfolk sentience will bring a unique and overall beneficial feel to the game, not present in a lot of other monster taming games. This video will end up being rather short, but I did think this was an interesting topic, and I wanted to get a discussion going in the comments. Let me know what your thoughts are on the whole sentience situation, and let me know if you could think of any other nuance that SkyMill needs to pay attention to given said aspect of the game. With that being said, if you did enjoy the video, make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at GymLeaderEd. Check out our subscriber Discord, all links in the description. Until next time, peace.